Frank's final storyline in Blue Bloods will be even more powerful now that he's tried to mediate a conflict involving Dylan Walsh's Mayor Peter Chase. It's an exciting development for Tom Selleck's Frank, and should give the show a strong send-off. Throughout the police procedural's 14-year run, many of Blue Bloods' best episodes have involved Frank butting heads with the current mayors over policy disagreements. His relationship with Chase has been more antagonistic than most. Frank doesn't agree with Chase on most issues, while Chase views his opposition as disloyalty. Frank's willingness to openly disagree with Chase despite the potential negative effects on his career demonstrates his integrity, which is a quality that makes him one of the best Blue Bloods characters. Despite his antagonistic relationship with Chase, Frank will do whatever is best for the city, including trying to mediate a childish argument between Chase and new Fire Commissioner Veronica Radley, as he did in Blue Bloods Season 14, Episode 13. This adds weight to the character's choices going into the final stretch of Blue Bloods episodes. Frank's attempt to fix things between the mayor and the Fire Commissioner in Blue Bloods Season 14, Episode 13 explained. He tries to get the two officials on the same page despite their antagonism. Frank sits across from Sid at his desk looking unhappy on Blue Bloods. Frank's integrity in Blue Bloods sees him wading into some fraught situations for the benefit of the city. Frank steps in when the anger felt by Myra Sorvino's Veronica Radley at Chase for not attending a firefighter's funeral gets out of hand. The situation escalates to the point where the firefighters threaten to call out sick in protest, which could lead to unnecessary fire-related injuries and deaths throughout the city. Although Frank thinks his experience in handling conflicts with Chase will simplify things, he only inflames tensions further, as both Radley and Chase believe he's on the other person's side. Frank's attempts to reason with Radley and pleas with Chase to serve this city, not your egos, fail to resolve the conflict, leaving Frank feeling as if it's his fault the two can't get along. Things deteriorate to the point that Chase wants to fire Radley, although that's unlikely, as Sorvino is scheduled to be in several more of Blue Blood's final few episodes. However, the episode ends with the conflict unresolved after Frank reminds them that they are adults and leaves them to work it out. Thus, tensions might continue to escalate, contributing to threats against Chase that spur Frank to action in his final plotline. Frank's final Blue Blood story involves protecting the mayor. Frank will do the right thing regardless of the animosity between him and Chase. Chase's belief that Frank doesn't have his back will be proven wrong in the Blue Blood series finale, as teased previews for the final season. Frank will go on one final mission to protect Chase from people trying to hurt him, as reported by TV Line, demonstrating that he has the mayor's back and that he sees him as no different from any other resident of New York City who needs help from law enforcement. This will likely change the mayor's view of Frank, as he has consistently stated that Frank is disloyal and takes Frank's disagreements with him personally. It is unclear what threat Frank is protecting the mayor from, but it may grow out of the tension between Chase and Radley. Radley refused to condemn the protesters egging the mayor's car even though that caused a security risk, and these tensions could lead to greater violence. Chase, for his part, refuses to admit any fault and will continue to stick to his guns even if there are further incidents in which the FDNY or other city residents feel disrespected. Frustration with the mayor could lead to violence because both sides are so intractable. What Frank's final story with the mayor means for his Blue Bloods legacy. Frank's protection of the mayor demonstrates his integrity. Despite Chase's claims, Frank's opposition to his policies is not personal. He simply refuses to compromise on issues that directly affect the way the NYPD functions. Furthermore, Frank takes his oath to protect and serve seriously and will not allow any resident of New York City to be hurt or killed unnecessarily on his watch. Frank's feelings about Chase are more complicated than Chase realizes. In many respects, Frank likes Chase as a person despite disliking the way he runs the city. If circumstances were different, they might even be friends who could spar over their different political beliefs. In this respect, Frank's relationship with Chase is not much different from the one he has with Archbishop Kearns. However, even if Frank truly hated Chase, he would still do whatever he could to protect him from harm because that is what his job demands. Blue Bloods has always presented Frank as a man whose integrity causes him to clash with those around him, and this final storyline in which he has to protect a political adversary will solidify that aspect of his character and add to the series' legacy of presenting the NYPD in a fair and positive light.